Hello and welcome to another draw along with Pip and Michael here today. Not so live today, pre-recorded version, but we are going to be continuing our journey through South America, and today we're going to be drawing this awesome toucan. So hopefully you've seen this image and you've got access to the image from the discussion tab on the Facebook group. Definitely worth working from another device like we are, because it enables you to zoom in and be able to see the details a little bit more clearly. And we're also going to be sharing some facts about the toucan and learning about this fascinating bird as well. So we're going to start off by saying that toucans are noisy birds. They are among the world's noisiest birds. When they sing, they sound like frogs croaking, and they also make tapping and clattering noises with their big bills. Some toucan species make barking, growling, and braying sounds. Now, female toucans typically have higher voices than males. They use their calls to rally other birds to good foraging sites and to differentiate themselves from other groups of toucans. So there we go, noisy birds. So not only are they very, very colourful and visual, they also make a bit of a racket as well. So I'm going to be drawing landscape, so that I can have enough space to fit in that glorious long bill. See if the charge is going to last on my tablet, we'll see. So I'm going to prop that up so I can reference it. So the bill is taking up a big part of the image. I'm going to try and get the whole bird in, including his feet. So I'm going to sketch out really roughly to begin with where I think everything will go. And I'm doing this really roughly just to make sure that I've given myself enough space on the page to be able to get everything in that I want. I don't want to like crop out the top of his beak, for example. So this is really, really rough sketching to begin with. Nothing like a toucan right now, but it hopefully will turn into one in a bit. So hopefully that is not a bad starting point on the page, because I think I will get the beak in. So that is a really, really rough sketch. Now that I'm satisfied that I'm not cropping off his beak or his head or his feet, I can now go in and actually draw it a bit more accurately. So I'm going to start with the body, I think, and get those wings in. Some main feathers that you can see. The dark feathers, almost completely jet black. There is some brown tones in there though, so I've pulled out some brown pencils today as well. And the branch kind of cuts off, so you don't see the tail. We can see some long flight feathers on the wings, so I'm going to sketch some of them in. And if I draw in that branch, it might make my life a little bit easier as well. I've got a long skinny branch, and these feet are going to be coming up around that as well. So you can see that there's a back claw somewhere there. And then we can see a toe, two toes at the front on one foot. I can only see one claw though. I'm only going to draw in one claw. It might just be that the other claw's hidden, or it might be missing, who knows. He's always got blue colours in his feet, actually, like a light blue. I might have to get another colour out in a minute. I didn't see that when I first looked at the image. And another big black claw on that one. And his feet sort of lost in amongst his feathers as well. As I go out, I'm going to rub out some of my first lines just so that it doesn't confuse my brain. Easily done.
I've drawn the beak much too long.
Have you?
Yeah.
Made it very dramatic. And he's got like this white bib almost, isn't it? It's like he's wearing a suit. And I say he, we don't actually know if this is a girl or a boy. So unlike other birds and animals in general, normally the male is the one with all the bright plumage and colours. But with toucans, the girls have it as well. So you can't necessarily tell from this picture if it's a girl or a boy. Ooh. Now I've rubbed out my guidelines. I'm making it tricky for myself now. I might have to put them in again. It's a really big, thick bill, very iconic. got a big eye. All going a bit wrong on mine. My proportions are not quite right, so I'm going to have to adjust until it looks right to me, because at the minute, something's not quite feeling good. Still not right. I think my eye's in the wrong place. It's too far away. It needs to be closer to the beak. The birds are, again, one of the ones I struggle with drawing. I don't know why it is. I think it's become a mental block for me now, actually. I'm just expecting it to go wrong. How do you find drawing birds, Michael?
I quite like drawing birds.
Yeah?
Mm.
I might get you to take over then. Getting there. It's looking a bit more realistic. It's got a really odd shaped pupil. It's definitely not circular. It's not oval. It's like a splodge almost. There we go. That's a bit more like it. Might go a bit wider with the wing. How are you finding it, Michael? And he's got some patterns on his beak as well. So we've got the big black patch at the front. So I'm going to sketch that in. It's almost like a stripe running along the top of it, like it's such a deep orange, it's almost red, going along the top of his beak. And then we've got this funky pattern running down. Almost looks like teeth, doesn't it? It's like prehistoric dinosaur type. I'm going to draw them in as well. And they seem to mirror as well. So when there's one on top, there's one on the bottom. Well, it doesn't quite mirror. It starts off mirroring and then the bottom one changes a little bit. I'm going to draw it in as I see it. Okay, I'm just going to work on that eye a bit because I think I did my pupil a little bit too big. So I'm going to trust. And actually, the eye shape is not circular as well. It's slightly, I don't know what shape you would call that. It's almost like a cross between a circle and a square. I'm going to zoom in, but I can't see anything else on the eye other than there's like almost stripes. A bit like when you look at your iris, if you look at your eye, it's like a sunburst effect from the pupil, and it looks like he's got that. So, I think we got somewhat an outline to begin with. So, shall we share a couple more facts? There we go. So, they come from a big family. Toucans are part of the family of, I'm going to struggle to pronounce this, Ramphestidae, which includes about 40 species of toucans, as well as the smaller toucanettes and Aracaris. The one thing they all have in common is a bill that is disproportionately large compared to the rest of their bodies. So that's how you recognise if a type of bird is a toucan, is that their bird looks far too big for their body. Scientists aren't exactly sure why they have such a massive beak. It may play a role in courtship, as the large, brightly coloured bill might be alluring to potential mates. Its size also might be intimidating to predators or other birds that compete with the toucan for food. But in in an actual fight, the bill wouldn't be much use. It's made of a honeycomb of keratin that isn't very durable, heavy, or strong. So though it looks really big and impressive, it's not a weapon as such. The bill comes in handy at dinner time. Toucans use the large appendage to reach fruit that would otherwise be out of their grasp, and then they use the serrated edge of their bill with amazing dexterity to peel and eat the fruit. Scientists have also found that the toucan's bill plays a role in helping it cool off. In a study published in the journal Science, researchers said they discovered toucans can regulate blood flow to the bill using it as a way to keep its body temperature under control. That's also why they tuck it in under their wings when they sleep, so as not to cool off too much. I wonder if that's why flamingos do that. I have to look into that. Right, I'm going to start off by the eye. And now that I've zoomed in, I actually think I can see a brown ring and then a pupil within that. So it's like a really dark brown ring and then a pupil within that. So I'm going to draw it like that, and I'm also going to add a highlight because I think that helps to make things look more realistic. So I'm going to start with a black pupil in the centre. It's a big pupil though. And then use a dark brown around that. Oh, so sharp that it broke. And then we go with the funky blue. It really just adds another pop of colour to an already very colourful bird, doesn't it? So. Oh my goodness. Pencil's too sharp today. Or maybe I'm just pressing too hard. And I'm just going to use the black to make the edges, because again I can see some darker edges at the bottom of that blue. And I'm going to use it to add in those little sunburst sort of effects I can see as well. Okay, and then we need quite a bright orange for this almost fleshy looking part around the blue. So if you've ever studied colour theory, blue and orange are contrasting colours. They're opposite each other on the colour wheel, which means that they go really well together. So red and green is another good example of that. And I wonder if that's why this looks so striking to us, is because the blue eye, or the blue around the eye at least, is contrasting against the orange around it as well. I'm going to tone that down a bit with a different orange because that is looking particularly orange. I probably should have got a grey out. Sometimes we use grey, don't we? Right, so now I'm going to go for the black bit on the bill. And again, it's not all just a solid black. If you look carefully at it, it's darker where the two parts of the bill meet and along this edge here. So I'm building up the layers a bit stronger there, and then not so dark on the rest of it. And then the bill. Now, I need a different colour, so bear with me. You definitely need a red. That dark stripe we've got going along the top of the bill, Be careful of that, because if you look carefully, you can see some white highlights in it that really make it look shiny. So try not to colour it all. Try and keep a white aspect, because that will make it look like it's got a shiny texture. And that almost comes underneath the bill as well. And then I think I'm going to go with the orangey bits in the middle. Those they look like teeth, don't they? I'm going to add them in first. With more orange tone. And then use the same orange to build up the darker tone on the underside of the beak. Switch to my light orange. And we've even got more yellow going through towards the front of the beak. How you doing, Michael? Oh, it's looking good. You didn't sound confident, but that looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. You've got a little yellow bit right on the tip of his beak at the bottom as well. Cool, cool. It's getting there. Starting to take shape now. So now I'm going to go in with the black to do these feathers, the shorter feathers on the head. Remember to keep looking back at your reference picture, because obviously it's not just the colours that change, it's the form and the shape and the texture as well. So the feathers on the top are definitely shorter, and as we move down into the body they get longer.
I'm just going to move on the body, so I'm just going to pull up a picture of the body.
That's a good idea, yeah. So if you're adjusting anything on your picture, or you're just not sure because you can't see much of your reference image or anything like that, look at other pictures of toucans as well, because then that'll give you an idea. So if you really wanted to get a good idea of what the eye should look like, you could look up an image of a close-up eye of a toucan. That might help.
Some toucans have different coloured beaks.
Yes, so there's, was it 40 different species of toucans?
Oh, so the wing is just black. I was just trying to see if...
Yeah, all the colours on the beak and the face, isn't it? And then a little bit on their feet.
Just need to add the watercolour now.
You're there already? Blimey. Have you coloured the branch that he's sitting on?
Oh, I'm going to do that after the watercolour.
Oh, okay. I can see slightly brown tones in there, so I'm going to add a few brown tones as well. I think I definitely need to find a light blue for those feet though, because that's definitely got a nice splash of colour in there.
You just sign it and I'm done.
Blimey, Michael. I'll have to get you reading out the facts.
I don't like mine.
No?
No.
Did you rush it a little bit?
No, the body doesn't look right. I think it's all fine, just the body looks a bit hunched.
Well, birds can look a little bit hunched, I suppose. Right, I definitely need a light blue for those tones.
What's that? I like blue. No, it's dark blue.
I'm thinking this light blue. Do I need like a sandy colour as well, even? Quite possibly. Can you grab me a sandy brown colour, Michael?
Yeah. Sandy brown. Like this.
Is there a lighter one? I'll use that one if not. Oh, that'll work. That's okay.
You sure there is a lighter one?
No, that works well.
Oh.
And then I'll use the black to just add in some shadows and stuff. They look a little bit light at the moment. Got not much black left. I might need a new black pencil. It's getting difficult to hold now. Okay, and then I think I'm going to try and put the branch in so that the picture makes sense. I'm going to rush this a little bit, but if you're drawing this, you could spend a bit more time making sure it looks accurate. I'm just roughly drawing something that resembles slightly a branch. I'm just using a brown pencil, trying to create rough bark looking. I'd probably put in some dark green because actually when you look at that branch that it's sitting on, you can see almost green tones coming out. And then the background, if you can do a background, if you've got time for background, that will make the beak pop even more because of the green contrast. So, can you read out some more facts for me, Michael?
They live in the rainforest canopies. Maybe that's why toucans spend more time hopping than flying. They spend most of their lives high in the rainforest canopies, nestled in the leaves. Their preferred habitat is mature forest with full-grown trees at a low elevation and access to plenty of ripe food for eating. They do not like to fly across rivers, which is why waterways often create barriers between different species. Most toucans live in the same forest year-round, although some migrate seasonally between forests on mountainsides and those in lower lying spaces. Toucans are sociable, friendly birds that like to hang out together. Toucans are usually observed in flocks of 3 to 12. Sometimes 20 or more birds live in the same group. They face threats in the wild. Probably the best known and most recognizable of the toucans, the toucan is listed as least concern on the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, IUCN, red list because their species has such an extremely large range. However, the overall population numbers are declining.
So the Toco toucan is what we're drawing, I believe. So they're the ones that people, you think of a toucan, this is what you see. And although they're not endangered, their numbers are declining.
The main threats to the Toco toucan and the other toucan species are habitat loss and hunting. The rainforests are being taken down for farming, homes and roads. For example, coca growers took over the yellow-brown toucanets range in Peru, leading it to become one of the many...
In Peru, was that?
Yeah. Many birds on the endangered list. The aerial toucan and the eastern red-necked acari
close enough.
in Brazil are also listed as near threatened due to deforestation.
So because all farmers are using the forests for farmland, that obviously means that the toucans have got less places to live and less habitat and less food, and that's what's causing a threat to their numbers now.
Toucans also face threats from hunters who capture the bird to sell as pets or for food or as trophies. When they take fruit from the orchards, farmers sometimes hunt them as pests to keep them from stealing their crops. They nest in tree hollows. Toucans tend to use hollowed-out tree cavities for nests. This makes sense since they spend most of the time high up in the rainforest canopies of South and Central America, rarely making trips to the forest floor. Sometimes they move into hollows created and abandoned by woodpeckers. There they lay up to 5 eggs per year, which are incubated by both parents for 15 to 18 days. In the nest, toucans sleep by turning their head backward, tucking their beak under a wing, and flipping their tail feathers up over their head to create a tidy little ball. Toucans are monophoric.
Let me see. Monomorphic.
Monomorphic. means that males and females look the same. There is no way to differentiate them from their own outward appearance, and both are equally showy. Research has shown that the morphism is more common in animal species where successfully social interaction in groups matters greatly, and perhaps even more than affect courtship, which is where males tend to evolve to become showier. They help rainforests. Toucans are vital to keeping rainforests alive. They eat an array for native fruits, passing the seeds through their droppings, which helps them keep plants and maintaining the forest diversity.
Nice.
Done.
Well done, Michael. That was super speedy reading.
I'm used to it.
Yeah. That's his beak and his face done. Let's get that branch done. So I'm going to use a bit more water on this because I haven't put as much colour on. So I've loaded the paintbrush up a bit more. So I can spread it out a little bit, the colour out a bit more.
I feel like I'm going to sneeze.
Hay fever again.
I really don't want to because they're aggressive sneezes.
Aggressive sneezes, yeah.
Yeah.
Michael has aggressive sneezes. They make me jump out my skin.
That's why I try not to sneeze in the car.
What was that? I thought you were doing it on purpose.
No, it's just my sneeze.
A hay fever, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought I didn't have hay fever.
No. Judging on the amount you're sneezing every time we go leave the house.
Yeah, I think I do.
I think you might.
Yeah, you will survive, but I don't. I've got to have hay fever. You don't have hay fever, it's not fair. I think next week most of the farmers are done.
Oh yeah, because lots of hay's being cut at the moment, isn't
Yeah.
it? Probably why it's aggravated.
Oh yeah. Doesn't help when you're out in the field.
Actually helping as well.
Actually helping as well.
Right, branch.
You don't have time to worry now. Well, you can't do. You can't keep it going for 5 hours.
Yeah.
I think some people
We're making good time today.
I bet they'll be like, oh. You just gotta do
The feathers.
And you are done.
I don't want this to become just a big black blob, so I'm going to try and control where the water goes. I want it to look feathery.
For me, it looks like it's brown. I don't know why.
What, from the photo?
No, from here, like your picture.
There are some brown. I did put some brown tones in there. That'd be why. Again, I'm being a bit more generous with the water this time. You know, if I didn't shade everything black, I just put some black down, knowing that I'd be able to spread it out with the water. I'm purposely leaving some white highlights. I know you can't see necessarily them on the reference picture, but I just think it makes for a better illustration. So I'm leaving some white space. And just a little bit of shadowing on his throat. Oh, battery's died on my tablet. I can't see the picture. Oh no, it's back. It's back again. Back again. Right, I might just put in a couple of little fine details with a black pencil to emphasise the beak line. But I can't do much else because the water is still wet. So I think that is me for today. Our South American toucan. Obviously I need to sign the picture. As always, feel free to upload your picture at 1 o'clock today. Providing it's before 3 o'clock, we will give you some written feedback on your artwork. Thanks for joining us if you have joined us. Next week I believe we're drawing a frog, a really colourful frog. I think it's a poison dart frog, which would be cool to learn about actually how they're poisonous and what harm they can do. And I think that might even be the last of our draw-alongs this year. There might be one more, but I can't remember now. We will be back, of course. So yes, feel free to upload your work. I look forward to seeing your colourful toucans, and hopefully we'll see you next week when we're hopefully be live again. Have a lovely week, everyone. See you later.